I'm Dewald from Amtec Lubricants. I started off in mechanical engineering background, but by chance I landed in the lubrication, what we call tribology field. That became my passion. When we started off with the business, I went to some of the major lubrication companies and we got agencies for them. We used to supply their lubricant, and then I saw that there is a need to manufacture certain products, especially the specialty products. We always used to manufacture what we call the bread and butter stuff, the hydraulic fluids and industrial gear fluids and engine oils. But there was a need for the specialty products. And I started manufacturing that, I started to read up, I started to study. That became, for me, a stepping stone, a milestone, something that very few guys can do in South Africa. People will think that the international products offer superior to the locally manufactured product, which is far from true, because we've got the technology in South Africa to manufacture the same product that complies to the same standard and specifications. The local market is a challenging market, which I think the overseas people don't understand. People just tend to stick to the recommendation. That's not normally the best scenario for the South African. All the local conditions, South African conditions, are unique in the world. We need to alter a product to comply to those specifications. We manufacture the full range of products, engine oils, hydraulic fluids, industrial gear oils, and then we also manufacture the specialty products. And we manufacture a lot of products that are only available from Amtec. An example of equipment that are different are, for instance, a synthetic fire-resistant hydraulic fluid that I've developed especially for the South African conditions. To my knowledge, it's not available from anybody else in this country. It's got the same lubricity quality than a normal hydraulic fluid, but it's got the fire resistance built into that, as well as a very extended lifespan. I'm an amateur racing myself. I do drag racing as well as track racing. And about 10 years ago, people stopped manufacturing the racing fuels, the leaded racing fuels. And I saw a gap in the market, and I started to manufacture unleaded racing fuels from a 98 octane up to 120 octane fuel. I've got my own dynamometer that I use to develop the race fuels, as well as a tribology laboratory as well. The main difference between my racing fuels, as I see it, is that first of all it's available locally. A racing fuel is a very complicated product to manufacture. Very well known overseas brand are imported in containers, in shipping containers. And when they do ship it, the conditions in the containers, the heat are very high in the shipping containers, and fuel tends to break off with heat. That's why the local fuel is better in that regard. You can call it, it's freshly made. The heat in the containers will go up to 70-80 degrees Celsius, and fuel starts to break off at about 40-50 degrees Celsius. So the values of the fuel won't be the same in a country, say in America, where most of them originated from. When it landed in South Africa, the values are different to once it has left the manufacturing plant or the blending plant. You get two different types of track bikes, the solvent-based ones, and then you get the water-based one. To be totally honest with you, there's a big secret in track bike. And obviously I've worked a lot of years with track bike to an extent that I've now manufactured the one compliant to the biggest distributor, to my knowledge, in the States. Many years ago, I was contacted from Nico from RS Performance, as there was a need for a running in oil for the older generation American engines. And since then I've developed a running in oil, a monograde running in oil, to such an extent that somebody will say, if you don't use the Amtec oil for a flat lifter cam, if you don't use the Amtec oil, running in oil on your engine, we won't warranty the parts. I've also developed the cam compounds, zinc additives. Say for instance, if somebody don't want to buy my oil, I supply an additive which he can add to his own oil, which will enable him to use the oil of his choice for running in oil purposes on his V8 engine. Major oil companies have reduced certain additives, zinc and sulfur phosphorus, in the lubricants because to comply to emission regulations. And that had a detrimental effect on the camshafts and the lifters. The startup oil will supply a much stronger film, anti-wear and anti-wear film between the lifter and the camshaft, which will stop it from causing startup damage.
For you since I've been